All right, YouTube, this Detroit's HPTV coming at you with another video. I don't know if you guys know, last night, some pro-Palestinian protesters vandalized a WW1 statue in New York. Okay. Now, Mayor Adams and a few more from his administration in New York, they did a press conference and they showed a whole lot of fake outrage. And I call it fake outrage because he claims to be so veteran when New York has one of the highest congregations of homeless veterans who don't receive aid because they're giving all the aid and assistance to immigrants. Some of the immigrants are from the very country that they sent these soldiers to fight in. Can you imagine that? You in the Marines or the infantry, and they send you to a country to fight, and you watch your peers lose their lives, and you come back to this country, you can't get assistance, and then they open the borders and allow immigrants and people from the same country you just fought in to come to this country and give them more rights and benefits than you. See, we got to call out their hypocrisy. You know what I mean? Because everything that they're doing now is a distraction. They got the protesters all on all the college campuses. They're talking about a lot of things. But what's been happening with these immigrants? What's happening with these laws that you changed? Why are you so outraged that they vandalized this statue when you ain't cared about veterans in a very long time? And I say this with conviction. It's a whole lot of Marines that follow my channel. When you see Simplify in the comments, that's a Marine. That's what whenever you see the term simplify in the comments on this channel, that's usually a Marine. Now, why all of a sudden is he so uh pro-American when he's been following the Biden doctrine and Bidenomics against the citizens of this country? So we're gonna look at this hypocrisy and we're gonna call him out on this hypocrisy. This for fair use in the 1976 Copyright Act, for education and commentary, and the First Amendment. Check out Mayor Adams and the New York cronies with their fake outrage. Check this out.
This is breaking news. Happening right now, Mayor Adams is at the scene of the World War I statue that was vandalized by pro-Palestinian protesters last night as they were marching to the Met Gala. Let's listen.
New York, and I could almost recall like it was yesterday that Commissioner Isco came to me with a record dealing with the loss of my Uncle Joe, who died in Vietnam at 19 years old. And he was hesitant to give it to me.
All right. This is fake and this is theater. But ironically, I have an Uncle Joe, Joe Calloway, fought in World War II, my grandfather's little brother. And I have an Uncle Milo that's deceased now that fought in Vietnam. Now he's so outraged that they defaced this statue, and he's so American that he's with opening the borders and he's with elevating illegal immigrants over the citizens of the very city that he's supposed to lead. Look at this theater. Look how fake and hypocritical he is. Listen some more.
You think the pain of losing someone that fights to defend this country, you bury it, and then there was a sad reality of knowing at 19 he lost his life defending this country, and that is why we're here today.
So your Uncle Joe went and fought over there in Asia, and you so sad, but you were supportive of an Asian crime bill over a crime bill for your own people. See, this is what I'm talking about with their hypocrisy. Do you really think that this guy here is so heartbroken about the defacing of the veteran statue? You know what I mean? Do you think that he's so heartbroken about his Uncle Joe in Vietnam? You know what I mean? Like I told you, my uncle went and fought in Vietnam. You know what I mean? And now the Asians and the Vietnamese have a crime bill that protects them and has more rights than his sons, my cousins. What's going on with these people? They think that we go for anything. So let's listen some more to his fake outrage.
And I want to be extremely clear. In spite of the unpopular notion that people don't want to say it, I want to say it. I love America. I love America. And I'm proud to be a citizen of America. And the reason we are here is because of men and women like this statue behind us. And we cannot remain silent when our symbols of freedom are desecrated by.
We shouldn't remain silent when we see the homelessness and the mental illness plaguing veterans that can't get any assistance from you because you're directing all the funds and aid to illegal immigrants who hate this country that disface this statue with a pro-Palestinian rhetoric.
Individuals who clearly hate our country and hate our way of life.
You let them in.
I am not going to remain silent. And we should not remain silent because our silence gives the belief that everything is okay, and it is not okay. Not only was this statue desecrated, but down the block, another statue was desecrated. We know how important free speech is to this country. It's the core of our democracy.
Yeah, we know how important freedom of speech is. We know about the First Amendment. We want to know why the government just passed laws restricting freedom of speech with the anti-Semitism bill, HR 6090, that almost obliterates the very concept of the New Testament. I mean, these hypocrites, they think we slow. They think the American people is dumb. He's so upset about freedom of speech and statues and veterans. Please, Mayor Adams, please.
One that many Americans, like the symbols of these men, fought and ensured that it would stay intact. And it's a unique qualification that this country is so proud to have. The right to free speech, the right to protest the right, is something that we will always fight to keep in place. These heroes of World War won who this memorial is honored by. And if you look closely and read the history of this memorial, it is not like others where they lift up generals and high-ranking individuals. This memorial is reflective of the common man, the common woman, everyday soldiers who died and sacrificed their lives on the field of battle. And it's paid.
Who right now living in your subways and living under bridges because they don't have anywhere to go.
It's painful for me, and it's painful for others, and I'm sure it's painful for my two commissioners who are here, who fought and served this country, to watch this desecration take place right in front of them in the country that they defended and fought for, being vandalized by cowards, in the name of protest, one of the very freedoms that is enshrined in the memorial of the individuals who are here and died. And it's something to face of what a commissioner has done, Sue Donahue has done for years to keep our parks at the level of care and nurturing. And this is at the foot of what children play and what we believe should be a symbol of our strength. They are crimes and they will be treated as one. Today, I'm announcing $5,000 of my personal money for the arrest and conviction of the people responsible for this act. And Crime Stoppers they have also joined me, and they have announced a $10,000 reward as well in the Crime Stopper Tips hotline. We're going to be handing out these flyers for people in the areas who may have witnessed what happened. We're going to canvass the area. We're going to treat this crime with the seriousness that it deserves. Detective Kennedy is here, Commissioner Daughtry and Chief Shell, they're here. This is a top priority for us to solve this crime. And I'm not just putting my money.
This is a top priority to find out who vandalized the statue in a city that you allowed to be overran by illegal immigrants and using lawfare against political opponents. You expect us to believe that you are so upset about the vandalization of a statue of veterans that you don't give a damn about. Please.
Where my mouth is. I'm going to put it where my heart is. My heart is in this city and in this country. And when I would not stand by while people desecrate memorials for those who fought for democracy and human rights, the same rights that they are calling for, they are desecrating the lives of people who fought for that. And I want to assure all New Yorkers that our city will not tolerate chaos and disorder, even if those who are creating it claim to be doing so in the name of peace. We want to bring your anger and passion to the protest, but don't bring your hate.
This can't be the same city where illegal immigrants be beating the hell out of cops and y'all let them go. This can't be the same city. We talking about a different New York, right? We ain't talking about New York City, the one that's in New York State in Northeast America, not the place where they be beating up the cops and uh, snatching purses and you know what I mean, living in hotels. Is that the same New York you talking about? Come on, y'all gotta tell me the chance. You talking
Don't
about
bring
that
your
place?
violence and don't bring your disorder. Threatening to change history, but let's not threaten each other. And I want to thank everyone from the Parks Department and the Central Park Conservancy for immediately removing. You still see remnants of the graffiti that was placed here because of the porousness of the bricks, but they did a good job to immediately.
And he kind of sound like Daffy Duck because he messing up every word, irrelevance, and I mean, like, is he from America? Because his speech impediment is ridiculous.
Address the issues that's in front of us with the desecration. Their quick response and cleanup sent the right message. We're going to immediately respond, and we're working to address the additional acts of vandalism just down the street at Grand Army Plaza, the Manhattan Grand Army Plaza, not the one in Brooklyn. We're going to be swift with our response. We're going to be swift with our actions. And we're going to be swift to ensure those who attempt to bring disorder to the city will not accomplish their task. This is the greatest city on the globe because it's in the greatest country on the globe. And we're able to say that because of the men and women who place their lives on the line to sacrifice for that freedom. And one of those is the Commissioner of the Office of Emergency Management who fought for this country, and I want to bring him up now, Commissioner Iskel.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Thank you for all for being here today. And Mr. Mayor, thank you for your words. Thank you for your support for the veterans community, and thank you for setting this standard. Last summer, I took my son Wolf to Normandy for the 79th anniversary of Normandy in World War II. Different war than the memorial behind us, which is World War I. We walked the beaches where his great-grandfather, my grandfather, landed. Went to the cemetery at Normandy. And there's a quote on the wall at the cemetery that sort of amounts to the fact that Americans have fought overseas, and all that we've asked for is enough land to bury our dead. All that we've asked for is enough land to bury our dead. You know, as the mayor said, this memorial behind us is different than all the other memorials. This is a one to the doughboys. This is one to the World War II men who went off and fought for our country. They believed in something.
Wait a minute, Mr. Normandy. I went to Normandy. That is a World War I memorial. Whoever is writing your speeches and your talking points, they should give y'all enough time to rehearse them.
Believed in the promise of America. Over 500 of them didn't make it home. On the way up here, I printed out the names of some of those men. I was looking at them, their ages, so much life that was unlived. I thought about my battalion. I served in one of the hardest hit battalions of the Iraq War, 3rd Battalion, 1st Marines. We lost 33 Marines in combat. Over half our battalion, 576 Marines were wounded. And I think about what those Marines and sailors gave their life for. I think about what we owe them.
Not so y'all can open the borders to every Tom, Dick, and immigrant that wants to come over here and protest and show their disdain for the country and the citizens. I know that ain't what they fought for. Please. It's Marines on this channel. Simple fact. I know that they don't agree with how y'all running New York and the things that y'all saying because y'all still don't take care of the veterans. You still denying the veterans housing and aid that they need while you divert it to the very people and countries they went and fought in. So let's keep it real. Let's call it what it is, a distraction.
In terms of what we do with our lives. Some of those guys that I served with, we have conversations ranging the political perspective. Some of them have gone off and fought in Ukraine. Some of them are marching in these protests. Some of them are doing the best they can to give meaning to their lives because they were the ones fortunate enough to go home.
Why in the hell did they go over there to fight in Ukraine? Explain this to me like I'm 5 years old. What are they fighting for? If they're not fighting for the Constitution and the rights of the American citizens and the right to self-determination as described in the American Creed, you got to make this make sense.
And with those Marines that I served with, we've had all sorts of conversations about things we vehemently disagree about. But we've had conversations. And the last way to have a conversation is doing what these folks did to this memorial. That is not the start of a conversation. That is desecration. And I'm glad we live in a city and we have a mayor that won't stand for that. I'm proud to bring up my colleague, Commissioner Colonel James Hendon. James. Thank you.
Good afternoon. My name is James Hendon. I serve as Commissioner for the New York City Department of Veteran Services. And I just want to take a moment to speak about this monument in general, just from our friends at the Parks Department. Dedicated September 29th, 1927. This is the 107th Infantry Memorial. It is one of 8 World War I monuments in Central Park, and it's Central Park's largest.
I hope y'all see that they're not on code. You see, Mr. Normandy just said it was a World War II statue. We're talking about 2 different wars, decades apart. You know what I mean? So at some point, maybe y'all should have rehearsed your speeches. Stop confusing the people. Which war is the statue in remembrance of? Since y'all care so much, tell us which war is the statue dedicated to. Can you do that, please? That should be simple enough.
4.7 million members of the U.S. Armed Forces served in World War I of the Great War. 204,000 were wounded. 116,516 died. This monument recognizes 350 men who died from the 107th and 900 who were wounded over a 2-day period. The lineage traces back to the Revolutionary War for the 107th, and the sculpture symbolizes 7 men bursting through from the woods, breaking the Hindenburg Line in Germany in September of 1918. When we look at those who serve, past and present, our commitment to these men and women and their families throughout time as a nation, a state, a city, as an administration, our commitment transcends death. To pan back, country's been around for 247, going on 248 years. In that time, 45 million Americans have served in 12 major conflicts, 1.5 million wounded in action, 81,000 missing, 658,088 killed. What is bitter in its irony is that all who sacrificed and all who died would sacrifice and die again in order to protect the rights and freedoms of the very people who burned the flag and vandalized this monument yesterday evening. Of those who have and do fulfill.
I disagree. I don't think they went and fought for pro-Palestinian people that burn the flag. Why would they fight for them? I mean, this rhetoric is such a distraction to real problems and the real agenda that American people should be on. And no disrespect to these men as far as their service, but what they're serving now is disgraceful. That's a fact. Mayor Adams and this administration here, what they are serving now with this left agenda is disgraceful. For real.
Military service, we are all races. We are all creeds. We are all genders, all disability types, all sexual orientations, all colors, all classes, all religions. That our allegiance is transcendent is what makes our country so strong. The power of America lies in our freedoms and our diversity, and with that, the power of America lies in our freedoms and our diversity, and with that, rather than give the vandals what they wanted and speaking about whatever they wanted on their terms, we choose to take the narrative back and make sure that military veterans and their families know that this city and this administration has their back at all times. And so to our veteran community members, please know that the New York City Department of Veteran Services can be reached at 212-416-5250. Email is connect@veterans.nyc.gov. Website is nyc.gov/vets. Social media handle is @NYC Veterans on issues ranging from healthcare to housing to benefits to culture to education or employment. We're here. And to anyone who is angry right now, because I'm angry too, I just want to say that. To anyone who is angry right now, we urge you to turn that anger into positive actions. Take steps to help do right by our military sisters and brothers and their families, past and present.
Y'all haven't been helping them. And why all of a sudden y'all angry about the vandalization of a statue with everything else going on? With how Congress is passing bills and laws restricting the communication and privacy of U.S. citizens, while you are allowing illegal immigrants to overrun the communities of Americans. This is no disrespect to any veterans, like I said again. But what they're serving now is a leftist agenda coming straight out of the Biden administration to distract you for the undermining and collapse of our country. For real.
Than that. Thank you.
Thank you. Over to any questions if there are any.
CBS. I saw the flyer. It's $10,000 prime members, and an additional $5,000 from your own money, so $15,000.
Yes. Dedicated in the name of my uncle, 19-year-old uncle, Uncle Joe.
He's so fake. He's so fake. Can't y'all see that's fake? I'm dedicated to my 19-year-old Uncle Joe. We ain't never heard about your Uncle Joe before. That fought in Vietnam. We ain't never heard nothing about this. We ain't never even seen you stand up for the citizens of New York. Why would we think that you would stand up for the country? Mayor Adams. You won't stand up for the Constitution or the rights of nobody else. Who's paying you? Where you get the $5,000 from? This is a joke, for real, for real.
These
Chief of Detective Kennedy we are, tracing down the leads, and we asking anyone based on the flyers, the Crime Stoppers flyers. We're going to be posting this around. Every information will help us. There's a few social media leads we have, but we're going to continue to focus on that. But we're asking whomever witness anything to please let the New York City Police Department know. Thank you.
Thanks, everybody.
You've been listening to Mayor Adams at the scene of a World War I statue vandalized by pro-Palestinian protesters last night. We'll have more coverage on the ongoing protests beginning tonight on CBS 2 News at 5.
This
Really? Now, I don't know about the rest of y'all, but what was this really about? With everything that's going on in New York is ground zero for anti-American sentiment and anti-American policy, lawfare, and the rest of everything that goes against our general interest. Are y'all buying this? Because I'm not. Signing to you out of Detroit. Keep your head on the swivel. Salute to all patriots as always. Like, share, and subscribe. Peace.